Well, I know that somewhere in there you got involved with a production company, Inlight Productions.
Yes, I did. I actually left New York in 1988 to actually go back to school, and I got a master's in spirituality. And while I was there, I met a friend, Owen Howson, who had a video production company, and we, for my master's project, produced a video for Mother Teresa's Center for AIDS Services. And in that, we were able to interview Mother Teresa, and
incredible.
that got national awards, ended up on PBS, and is now in the Museum of Broadcasting in New York. And so my directing and producing experience in the theater really combined with Owen's technical skills, videographer, editor, and all the expensive equipment. We worked very well together. And after that video, Inlight Productions, the company, got a whole bunch of videos in the health field. We did videos on Alzheimer's and an immunization program for kids, massage for the elderly, extended healthcare facilities. We did training programs, lots of educational type videos. And then we moved into doing a lot of travel, promotional films, and what I did this summer kind of videos. It was very exciting work.
What was the name of the Mother Teresa video?
The name of that was The Center, The Journey to the Center.
Is there any way to view that? Have you ever considered showing it on Akaku or?
That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I should look into that.
Yeah. What was your favorite video to work on? I know that's sometimes a hard question, but what was your favorite video to work on?
Well, it would be hard to say, but I would say that we did a video with an Alzheimer's Day Center. We called the video "May I Have This Dance?"
Yeah.
And one of the things about going in and doing this video is that people with Alzheimer's and with dementia, they lose touch with things, but they don't lose touch with music. Or it's one of the last things to go. So they can play music, they can listen to music, and they can dance to music. And people who may not have danced any time in their life will get up and move to music because it's a wonderful social thing and it's nonverbal. And we had spent a couple of weeks with this group trying to figure out how are we going to come in and interrupt their lives, show what kind of services they're getting in this center, and yet not shock them or scare them. And as it was, they really rose to the occasion, loved the idea of making a video, loved the lights and the cameras, and it was hard to see any dysfunction at all. But of course it was there. So we really got to be part of that family, and I think that's why I'd say that was one of my favorite video productions.
So you're saying that in light of the music and the dance, it almost seemed like the Alzheimer's took a back seat to that, at least visually. It seemed like
visually on tape for activities.
Yes.
They're like, oh, we're making a video, so everyone would take part. They'd do the exercises and the crafts and stuff, and it was like, okay, well, this is just a senior program. Where's the dementia?
There's something so touching to me about the fact that when all else goes, there's still that thing that loves the music and the dance, that human spirit. Very touching. So there was something that happened with your business partner, Owen, an accident, a kind of freak accident.
Yes, it actually put a crimp in our ability to keep running Inlight Productions. About 7.5 years ago, we actually just shot a video in the Baltic. It was a cruise and a tour with a post-cruise in Paris, and we were in California for 5 days, and we had gone to Costco and got some film developed, and the car needed gas. And Owen went into the mini mart to pay for gas, and a sport utility vehicle went out of control, ran through the brick wall, and ran over Owen inside the mini mart.
Oh my God. Ah.
So 3 weeks in intensive care, 3 months in the hospital, rehab. It kind of put a major cramp in Inlet Productions. And that was 7.5 years ago.
Mm. And how's he doing today?
He's doing very well. He had a series of surgeries last year in New York, and he's able to walk just normally.
Oh, fantastic. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
So, Gary the minister. Gary the minister, this is another thing. When did you become a minister?
Well, here in Maui, it was back in the year 2000. I had some good friends who were moving back to the mainland, and they wanted to get married before they left. And they knew that I was an ordained minister. I had gotten that master's in spirituality, and then I was ordained in 1992. But our video business was just roaring, so I never did anything with it. And so I said, of course, I'd love to do your wedding. So I applied to get my license to perform weddings in the state of Hawaii, and it didn't come in time. So
things happen slowly here. Things
it
happen
can.
very slowly.
It
here.
can.
Yeah.
So there was a friend of a friend who came in and did the legal pronouncement, and I was the master of ceremonies that officiated the wedding. I just couldn't technically pronounce them. But right after the wedding, I got the license, and I thought, gee, this is something I can do. And I've been doing weddings ever since.
So how did you actually start getting involved in doing weddings? What was that step?
Well, I had been a guest minister at Maui Religious Science Center, and there was a wedding coordinator there who was going away on a month-long vacation and asked me to step in and do all of their weddings for that period of time. And I did 22 weddings off the bat.
Wow. Wow.
And one thing led to another. You know, there's lots of wedding coordinators here in Maui, and I developed a rapport with many of them. And I get a call occasionally from different folks, and that's the weddings. I love being, my office is the beach at sunset. It can't get much better than that.
No, that doesn't get better than that, no. What are some of the more interesting weddings that you've done?
Well, I did a wedding on a boat once. The thing that made that interesting is the week prior to the wedding, we had these the big storms, kind of like what we had recently, where the water was very choppy and rough. In fact, that morning there was whitecaps. And so I met the couple at Ma'alaya. We step onto the boat, we start out of the harbor, and it was glass. And the bride had 4-inch heels. She had no idea that just hours before she would have been overboard on 4-inch heels. So that was pretty interesting. I did a wedding for a couple. They were older. They're in their 70s. She had been widowed 5 times. He had been divorced 4 times. And he had said to Madge, I want to marry you. And Madge said, well, I'll marry you, Sonny, but we have to do it on the beach. And so they came to Maui and had their wedding on the beach. And it was really a sweet wedding. They hired a guitarist, not to play music during the wedding, but at the end to play their song so that he could sing it to her. It was very, very sweet.
And how old is he at this point?
Mid to late 70s.
Oh, so sweet. So sweet.